My name is Jacob U. Gordon, Professor Emeritus, University of Kansas, and I'm a member of the International Bullying Prevention Association. I have just published a volume entitled Bullying Prevention and Intervention at School, trying to bridge the gap between theory and practice. Through that study, I came to the conclusion that bullying is a global problem. UNESCO has estimated that there are more than 246 million young people all over the world that experience bullying every year. Many programs have been developed to help to combat problems of bullying. And yet, it is very difficult to determine whether those programs are effective or they are not effective. I want to concentrate in this presentation on program monitoring and evaluation because I believe, based upon my research, that any meaningful discussion about anti-bullying efforts must include program monitoring and evaluation. And to discuss that, some critical questions must be raised. One, what is program monitoring and evaluation? Two, what is the purpose of program monitoring and evaluation? Three, what are some of the approaches that are employed in measuring program effectiveness? Four, what are some of the guidelines, the guiding principles for program monitoring and evaluation? And maybe fifth, the last, what are some of the values of program monitoring and evaluation? So let me begin. Program monitoring and evaluation is a branch of research that focuses on trying to determine the effectiveness of programs. It is, by definition, a systematic and scientific and very rigorous approach to determine how programs are being designed, implementation of the program, the outcomes of the program, and the potential impact of the program. Now, second question, what is the purpose of program monitoring and evaluation? The purpose is very clear. It is to determine what works and what doesn't work during the process of implementing anti-bullying programs so that we can invest in what works and don't waste money and time. Three, what are some of the approaches for evaluating and monitoring programs? There are several approaches. One is the Orvis approach, which started overseas several years ago by Professor Dan Orvis. There is also the risk and protective factor approach. There is the ecological approach. There is the social-emotional learning approach to program monitoring and evaluation. And perhaps the one I like most is called the logic model. The logic model approach has two parts. First part is the work plan, which consists of input and activities. The second part is the result. That consists of output, outcome, and impact of the program. The logic model is designed first to conduct needs assessment. What are the needs in program development, and how do we meet those needs? It helps to monitor the program and give the administrators of the program some opportunity for reversing their course if the program is not meeting the stated objectives. The mid-course feedback is very important in program monitoring and evaluation. Now, what are some of the guiding principles for program monitoring and evaluation. The American Evaluation Association has developed a set of guidelines, especially to those who are conducting the evaluation. First, it has to have integrity. Program monitoring must have integrity. What do I mean by integrity? Integrity means that the data collected can be validated. It means that there are critical ethics, research ethics that are observed. It also means that the program must respect diversity. Second, we call it cultural competence. Cultural competence is the ability to work with diverse populations. It is the ability to have the necessary skill to work with the different groups. It is the knowledge of those groups you are working with. That is what we define as cultural competency. The third approach is critical inquiry. Any useful program monitoring and evaluation must emphasize science and critical inquiry. The same rigor that we approach all kinds of research must be applied to program monitoring and evaluation. It begins with needs assessment of the program and then fill in the gaps once you determine the needs assessment. What are the values of program monitoring and evaluation? There are people who think that when you evaluate programs, you are trying to get rid of them. No. Evaluations should be a very friendly thing that is conducted to reflect the activities of the program. The ultimate goal of program evaluation in its value is to determine the effectiveness of the program. Does it meet stated goals and measurable objectives? Because every program, if you use a logic model, has to decide on goal statements as well as measurable objectives. In a systematic inquiry, then we try to find out if this program, in fact, has met with stated objectives. For example, if the objective is to reduce bullying in a school district by 50% within 5 years, that is a measurable objective. What the evaluator does then is to see if that program, through its activities, have been able to reach those objectives. Now, the values goes beyond just trying to find out if the program works or not. It also means that if the program works, we can begin to replicate the program. Replication research is a very, very important endeavor. It means you don't have to waste people's funds to try to reinvent the wheel. It also helps to disseminate information about the program to all stakeholders of the program. The teachers in the school, the students in the school, the parents, and of course, the funders. The funders are very critical. Where do you get funded from? They want to know if you have used your money wisely or not. Only program evaluation, monitoring and evaluation can actually prove that. So when we develop programs, what we're trying to do is to encourage people to think first about program monitoring and evaluation. We are trying to encourage people not to finish implementation of the program before you say, oh wow, let's evaluate this program. It's too late. Program evaluation begins from the very first day you design it. Evaluation should be part of the design of the program you want to implement in order to really combat bullying. Bullying is a big social problem. It's a social behavioral problem in all our schools. It's destroying the lives of young people. And we cannot pretend that we are doing things that make people happy, some fuzzy things, Dr. Feel Good, and think that the program are working. I have seen many, many activities on the field that makes you really wonder, what are they trying to accomplish? Just to make people feel good or to actually tackle the problem? So, in a summary, any meaningful program that is anti-bullying must first consider program monitoring and evaluation. It is imperative that programs are monitored and evaluated in every sector of our endeavor.